Welcome, everyone, to the Subject 4 podcast. We're a fan-made podcast of the Project 863 series here on YouTube. I'm Joan here with my co-host, Shades. Yay. So, yay. Well, we're going to be talking about the latest episode, and boy, was it a doozy. So... yeah, there's already been, the episode has only been out for an hour and a half now, and I've gotten into multiple fights. Okay, debates. It is. No, you're wrong. Oh, I'm just realizing that... What the heck happened here? For some reason, the chat is offline. Why is the chat offline? So, let me see. Sorry about this, YouTube. I have no idea what's going on with the chat. It's my OBS, actually.
Well, I was just going to blame it on YouTube.
No, it's my OBS. So...
It's still your fault, YouTube.
Just blame everything.
I'm kidding. I love you, YouTube. I love you.
Let's see. No idea what's going on. It's okay. It's not OBS. It's not YouTube. It's Real Stream.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry about this. But yeah, I definitely have already gotten into some arguments because it's like, we were already talking about this before, and the one thing that annoys me on this episode is that we've got to speculate, and I hate speculation. But we're going to be going over We Solved a 20-Year-Old Murder over on the Project 863 series. We're nearing the season finale. What do you think about that, Shades?
I'm kind of sad that season 2 is coming to a close, but for season 3 to begin, season 2 has to end, of course. So I'm excited for season 3. But yeah, season 2, I feel like the season finale is going to be the big climax that we've all been waiting for. So can't wait to see what happens there. Squatter says that Deb is innocent.
Yes, Squatter can't think that Deb is. And I feel bad for, I don't know. I wish, sorry, I'm still trying to set up this chat.
Yeah.
It looks like Restream updated itself and wants me to do different features. And I'm like, well, what was wrong with our last features? So, sorry about this. They have a Fortnite mode.
Fortnite?
A Fortnite. Weird.
Does it take 2 weeks to open? Thank you. I'll be here all week.
That's funny. They have
Our younger viewers probably won't get that joke, but
probably. In case you guys were wondering, Fortnite means 2 weeks, right? Right?
Yes.
They have an Overwatch mode.
No.
Should we do the Overwatch mode?
I have no idea what that means, but it sounds enticing. So let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. Okay, copy this URL to OBS Studio to your favorite broadcasting software, blah, 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 blah. Okay. How was your day, Shades, while we're still figuring this out?
It was okay. It was a pretty interesting day.
Yeah.
The foam compression machine broke, so my boss was upset all day. He's yelling at me, "Why is the machine broken?" I'm just throwing my hands up, going, "I don't know."
I don't
It's like,
know.
well,
Quit yelling at me.
yeah, I don't know why it's broken. Well, what's wrong with it? I don't know. Foam squish machine, no squish foam. I don't. So I called maintenance and left it at that. What else can you do?
Not much after that, but
Yeah, I'm not a. I know a little bit of mechanical stuff, but when you get into the inner workings of a $5 million piece of equipment, I'm not your guy. Just saying.
you're not my guy? Well, true.
When it comes
You're
to,
not maintenance.
yeah, I'm not maintenance. I'm not.
I don't know. Is that hard to read, moderators? I can barely read it.
Water has made a thing. I'm liking it.
I'm wondering. Can't understand a single word. Okay, it is hard to read. So we will change it. Bear with me. Okay. They have a Minecraft one too.
Neat.
I'm definitely going to have to come in and play with this later, but let's see if I can get the
Yeah.
default back up. Okay, let's try this again. I don't know. This is as good as it's gonna get, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Well, a Restream decided to mess with its own settings.
These settings aren't adequate enough. Let me fix them.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we're gonna go ahead. Sorry about that, YouTube, but you can head over to our Discord, and our Discord has its chat and the podcast
No.
recording chat. So,
That's
but
the
I'm done playing with
excitement,
it.
the excitement of live streaming.
Yeah. So, we're going to be going over, we solved a 20-year-old murder, a 20-year-old crime case, which is interesting that he didn't say murder, but he probably didn't put murder in there because it got demonetized last time. Yes, demonetized. So we open to Bailey, Matt, and Sam, and they're eating their feelings. And Matt was talking about how it was more personal for him because he could see his eyes. He could see a person behind the mask. Hover Woods joins to digitize the tape, and then they head to NateDsz.
Did anyone else stand and cheer when you saw Hoverwoods? Just me? Okay.
You didn't.
I gave a standing ovation for Hoverwoods.
Why?
He's Hoverwoods. You don't. It's been so long.
Yeah.
Miss that dude.
They go to NateDsz, and they start viewing the tape, which it looks to be the same tape. But we have a woman that exits out of the car after the shot.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes. So I have some questions here that I wrote down while I was watching this episode. I'll come back to them, though.
We'll circle back to that.
We'll circle back to my questions. They email John Doe, and an hour later, they get a email from John Doe. He states that he's at the murder site. We'll come back to a question I wrote there. And Shades, you already know it. He says no cameras. He's got a briefcase. He doesn't at first believe it's Deb. He says, I'm not surprised. This is probably why it's taken us so long to solve this murder. Have you heard from her? Tell her the facts. And then he says, I keep my word, and he hands over the briefcase. And then Matt, while they're going up to the conference room to go through the briefcase, Matt makes a good assumption that, well, because everyone's all like, so is B-27 the actual good guy? And he's like, he's still gonna set off a bomb here. So
I really don't think that there's necessarily a definitive line between good and evil here anymore. In the beginning, in season 1, there was, or we thought there was, and now that line's kind of getting more and more blurred as we get into this. And yeah, I think everybody has their own little, like, everybody's a little bit evil in their own little way, but I kind of feel like you have to pick the lesser of two evils. But which is the lesser of two evils?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. The lesser of two evils. Well, I think one of the abiding factors is that you can't fully trust anyone in this story.
No.
So yeah, the lesser of two evils, but still don't trust anyone. But we'll go back to the show beats here. In the briefcase, we have the lab coat, the cosmetic bag, the bones, B-27 badge, and then the counter agent, which is yellow. Matt feels defeated, and then he says, life isn't for happy endings, but for impact. So that's one of the reasons why I said that it's time for subject 4 to make an impact, because he looks directly at the camera and says, what are we missing? And so that is our job. And that is what this episode is going to be about. What are we missing, guys? What are we missing? And Matt makes a clear reference to the items in the briefcase. So what are we missing? Like cat bones, or I don't know. He's like, those are pretty big bones. I was like, have you never been to KFC, bud?
Yeah. Chicken's got some big bones, dude.
Yeah, dude. Oh.
Dude. Sorry, Chad came out.
Oh, I hate Chad. So we'll go to the questions that I wrote when I saw the woman who exits out of the car. Who buried the body? If she's running from, if this is quote unquote Deb, and she's running, who buried the body? Was this staged? And Matt makes a statement, this could have been the start of Project 863, but we have evidence that says that's not true. This isn't the start of Project 863. Because we have patient files that the first 3 digits of their patient file numbers is 863. And then she was talking about the project in the Mountaineer tape, correct?
Yeah.
This isn't the start.
No.
But what is it for?
So, yeah, what is it? What's the whole idea behind Project 863?
According to Deb, it's to stop Nelson.
But this entire time, through 2 seasons, really 3 seasons, we literally know nothing about Nelson Cyphus. We know his name, his job title. That's it. We don't know anything about Nelson Cyphus except what Deb has told us. So where do we draw the line between reality and what has been scripted and handed to us? Is Nelson Cyphus really a bad person? Is he evil? We don't know.
We don't know.
All we know is what Deb told us. But is Deb lying? Why would Deb lie? These are the questions that bother me because it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
If she really did want to stop Nelson Cyphus and all these horrible experiments that he was doing and putting these people through, why was Deb the lead scientist through all of this? Why is she writing reports about amputating people's limbs and then putting them right back into the program? I don't know who to believe here.
You believe the evidence. That's all you can do.
But what does the evidence say? That's what I'm saying is...
Well, let me tell you. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, let me tell you about this.
Well...
And that's another thing, just like Inky said. Some of this evidence was planted by Deb for us to find. So what evidence do we follow and which evidence do we discard?
You don't. You don't discard any evidence. You line them all up. So when you piece together a puzzle, like I've made this conclusion before, it seems like we have different puzzle pieces from different puzzles. And we're trying to fit them into this puzzle. So what you got to do when you have multiple puzzles together is you got to lay out the pieces and line them up And if look at the different color schemes, you have to look at the differences. If they don't match up to what you are, what another, if you have 5 pieces of paper that say the sky is blue, and then you have one piece of paper that's saying the sky is green, and there's nothing else to back up that sky is green, you throw that out and believe the sky is blue. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, it's the process of elimination.
That's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to look at the evidence and what lines up that doesn't line up. And one of the things that doesn't line up to me, and the one person that at the end of this episode I did not like the most, was John Doe. I did not like John Doe, and the reason was he said he was at the murder site. How did he know where the murder took place?
Well, he's a detective. I mean, obviously there would be more than one copy of the security camera footage, right?
Okay. How did he know that a murder took place before there was a body?
Well, there was blood in the Mountaineer.
But that blood would have connected him to a missing persons case. Because he didn't have a body. And according to habeas corpus, you cannot say that there has been a murder taking place without a body. You can have a body, like a body of evidence, like the blood could have been, but that would have just said that something happened in the vehicle, not that a murder took place.
I feel like they talked about this with John Doe at some point.
They did. He said when they turned over the Mountaineer to John Doe, he said that the Mountaineer was traced to a murder.
Yeah.
No. Because there was no... he didn't have a body.
Here's what bothers me. If they're going to turn in the footage to John Doe of the murder, why not tell him the location of where Wesley is buried?
Exactly.
Why? Like, why wouldn't they tell him where the body of the person who was murdered was buried?
So, I was talking to Squatter before this. Let me pull up his and I's conversation. Okay. He said, however, I don't think that's not the thing I'm hung up on. In the big picture, I don't think it really matters about John Doe knowing all this stuff. It's like, it does matter because John Doe works closely with Deb. And then going back through the other evidence, I went to the Science Babes because I'm gonna like, give me evidence that he watches the videos. And the first thing they gave me was John Doe sent an email on January 7th, 2021. We need to talk. I've been following along your videos for a while now, and everything is setting off old alarm bells. Lies, lies, lies. He was in contact with Deb. He wasn't watching their videos and no alarm bells were going off. He was in contact with Deb at that time.
But that would how he knew where the murder took place. So
here is my reasoning. I didn't tell you this. I didn't tell Nick, Squatter, this. I didn't tell the mods over the Spellbound mods. I didn't tell them this. Here is my train of thought. He is working very closely with Deb. We do see a female image that supposedly looks like Deb exiting the vehicle after said quote-unquote murder. He then knew about a murder before he had a body. And he works closely with Deb. Do you kind of see where I'm going with this?
I mean, yeah.
Deb has used him to stage this murder.
Why would you need to stage a murder, though?
Because Wes needs to go into hiding.
For what reason?
To hide from Nelson.
But
the only
this
thing
is-
that makes me like a little bit like nervous about saying that is why would you then bury him in a shallow grave
in the middle of a cornfield
with not even his they're in California, dear. It was in the middle of the desert.
It was a field. I know a crop field when I see one.
It the only thing that bothers me about that train of thought was you didn't even have his name on.
It was just his number, 015.
And the only person who would care about those numbers is Deb, Wes himself, and Nelson.
But I feel like
hold
those
on. They're still going. There's this train of thought is still going.
Choo choo.
You use an undercover cop to fake a death for you, a murder for you. You make a grave to prove to Nelson that it is actually true. Do you understand my train of thought now?
I do. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it could be plausible. Like, I'm not saying that it's not.
Because why? How and why would he know where the murder took place? He knows it took place in a vehicle. Why would he then know what the exact parking spot it was?
I'm not saying any of this is not plausible. I'm not saying it's not true. I actually kind of agree with you that that's a possibility. This whole thing could be numbers on that gravestone bother me so bad. Why are there numbers there instead of a name?
Because it's just proof. Because I mean, if an average Joe is walking by and sees a grave marker with a name, you're going to probably call that in. But if you see a grave marker with numbers on it, 015, you would have think
to be
a Halloween prop or something like that.
I think it was meant to be so it would be inconspicuous, or maybe like a boundary marker of some sorts and not a grave.
It was meant to send a message, and I think it was to send a message to Nelson that Wes is actually dead.
But I am of the opinion as well that he could very well know where the murder happened. He's a detective. It's his job to do this. It's his job to find out. He could watch the security camera footage. He could do interviews. He could find out a lot of things.
But a murder.
Yes, a murder.
How did he know about a murder?
I mean, I'm assuming
because you're saying he watched the security. Well, he did detective work. Then he should have known who'd exited out of the vehicle before our team did.
Maybe he only had the previous copy of the footage. Maybe all the footage.
Why didn't he say that?
No, maybe he didn't know. Maybe the footage was compromised to the point that that's all he could obtain was the footage that we had previously that only showed the gunshot, and that's it. Didn't show a female exiting the vehicle and take off running. But now he has the whole tape.
But he had that vehicle parked in that spot for 20 years. And he did nothing about it, but he knew that there was a murder because they turned in the Mountaineer and it's connected to a murder. How did he know that? How is it connected to a murder? There was no body. He had no body. You cannot say it was a murder. It's a missing persons case. Unless he was in on all of it.
Or unless he just watches the YouTube channel.
No, but even if he watched the YouTube channel, he knew about a murder before our team did. He said murder before we got Oh, before we knew about it.
I don't think it's
Because
meant
he
for us
had
to
he had
dive that deep into.
he had
I mean, I think
forensics looking into it and connecting it to a murder before. But how do you connect it to a murder if he didn't have a body? That bothers me. You can't connect anything to a murder. You can connect it to a missing persons case at best. Like, he knew about this before Matt went into the trap. Because he had forensics looking into a murder he knew about without having a body. Does that make sense?
like I said, he could have seen the security camera footage.
How? He went into the trap before Matt did?
No, that's not that. I'm not saying that's the only.
20 years old. 20 years old, he found this security camera footage.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
no, nobody does that. Nobody keeps footage 20 years ago.
I don't think it's meant for us to delve that deep into. I think it's supposed to be a surface level.
No.
Like, there was a murder.
I swear to God, if this is not a thing and Neck is, I'm going to be so mad.
I don't think this is a thing. I think we're delving way too far into it. I think it's a surface level, like, there was a murder. This is what happened. I found out about it. I'm investigating it. I think that's all it is. Like, literally.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. I really think that John Doe and Deb staged all this.
I mean, I'm not saying that's not a possibility. I'm on board with you on that theory. That's a good theory. I could see that being a possibility.
Because how? Like, how did he know about a murder? How? That bothers me. How did he know?
Because that's his job to know.
No,
He's a detective.
no, because then he wouldn't have needed Matthias to solve this murder for him. He needed Matthias to do exactly what we're doing for the story, connect the dots. It bothers me. Because it's like... We can move on to my other theory that crushed people's... I don't really appreciate that, Nux. That crushed people's spirits on Spellbound. Did you see that?
No, I think I missed that one.
I'll post the meme.
The meme.
All right, where is it? Squatter, now is the time that you want to shut off the podcast, by the way.
Oh, God.
He does not like this meme.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
You don't like it?
Nope. Nope, I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. Even Garrett doesn't like it.
Yeah. So the reasoning that how I came to this conclusion was I've even gotten darker than that, and I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I did go darker. But I'll go ahead and clarify this theory, especially for the people on YouTube who couldn't see it. The theory is that B27, Benjamin Cobalt, has a daughter. And I fell into this hole when I was on the Science Babes YouTube channel. The The links will be in the comments. It would explain why Benjamin Cobalt's badge ID was in a vehicle with children's toys. And then one of the statements of the previous episode I got really hung up on. And it was what we figured the absolute is. The absolute said in a very sinister tone, "Benjamin, I will kill her." And we know Deb has said that she's far away and safe from Cyphus. So the "Benjamin, I will kill her" made me think maybe he has a daughter. So, to go even darker, what if it's Wes's daughter?
Oh.
And Benjamin Cobalt feels like it's his duty to protect his friend's kid. Now, I don't think it's Deb's kid. There's a part of me that wants to believe that Wes was probably a single dad. Because Deb doesn't act like she has a daughter. Or she could have staged this murder with John Doe to save her child's father. I don't know. But the question is, the absolute said that "I will kill her," which means he has means to threaten this person. The only other person I can think about is Jordan Kendall.
Why would he care about Jordan Kendall?
Exactly.
They have no affiliation with each other, as far as we know.
So one of the things that I know it's dark. I really do. I know that this is dark, but it's also gut-wrenching. Like,
terrible is what it is. It makes me feel horrible.
Yeah. And I know Squatter has a daughter, and so he really hates this theory, but it's a theory I like. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah,
Garrett,
if anyone
with you.
I do see Garrett is in the audience. No. Guys, do not ask questions to Garrett or any Spellbound staff. They don't know anything.
Nothing.
They know nothing. The only people who know, sometimes I don't even think Matt knows. I think it's just Chanel. So yeah. That's like saying,
that would be hilarious.
Yeah. So we have two editors. We have Brandon and we have Garrett that are in the audience right now. Chanel knows nothing. Chanel knows nothing. Oh, we're screwed then.
We're all doomed.
Yeah, we're all doomed. But it does fit some of the pieces, but it does leave out some of the pieces of like the bolo tie and whose vehicle is it. And in a behind we are 863, Sam said it's been confirmed that it was Wes's vehicle. Even though I hate that because nobody has confirmed that. There is no solid hard evidence that it is Wes's vehicle. So the only evidence that we have is it is a company vehicle.
True. It has weird kind of tags on it, which would it has government stickers on it.
We don't even really have evidence that it was Wes that was shot on the tape.
We don't, but if it's one thing I've learned from
Because
this series
again, we don't have a
is
body.
is when they tell you that this is who was shot or this is who did it, take that and run with it because that's them telling you
No,
this is confirmed.
we were
This is what's
we were
happening.
told that the Phantom was Wes.
No.
Yes. It was told to us because he had documents in the RV. We were also told through text messages that we were talking to Cyphus in text messages in season 1.
They never said confirmed.
He called him Cyphus and he didn't say anything. You cannot take what they say at all.
Good.
You, Garrett, you're not helping yourself. I was just about to post that. We had the 2 editors just
harassing us.
Yeah. That's it. I'm gonna ban my producer.
You can't ban him. I still have to go have a beer with him.
True.
Yeah.
I'm trying to lighten in the mood. Yeah, probably because it's on it. Trying to lighten in the mood. Well, we're in a very dark place. Like, the person that we trusted in season 1, well, we built our trust up to season 1. And then, I mean, they're still wearing her rings.
I'm still holding on hope with Deb. I'm still hanging on to that last little thread of hope.
No, Garrett, you're fine. One of the things that I'm trying to help people who don't want to believe that it's Deb by saying that John Doe and Deb staged this whole thing, and that's why John Doe was like, it was a murder before he even had a body. He still doesn't have a body, but it was a murder, guys.
But then what kills me is you see a female, like, you don't even see the full figure. You see a female silhouette get out of the vehicle with a ponytail and start running, and you automatically assume it's Deb. Like, Deb is the only female that ever worked at Syntech. So either that's them telling us that it is confirmed that it's Deb, or they're just trying to mislead us. And the other option is it was Jordan Kendall, but like Matt asked,
like
why would Jordan Kendall want to kill Wesley Nathaniel?
I don't know. There's a bunch of people in our audience right now that thinks that it was me running from the vehicle.
Where were you on the night of August the 6th, 2003?
2003.
I was still in high school.
I was still in high school. I graduated 2005.
I graduated 2004.
Artemis, our cover's blown. I know, huh?
Oh, no.
I was in high school, bro. I was not working at a lab. I did graduate. I did have the option to graduate way earlier. I did graduate early, but I had the option to graduate in 2004, but I declined because I wanted to walk with my class.
I was a junior in high school. In 2003.
I was a sophomore.
No, I would have been August.
No, you were a senior.
I was a senior in high school.
You were a senior in high school because I was a sophomore.
Yeah, I was a senior in high school. Wow. It's a long time ago.
I was just starting med school.
When the dinosaurs still roamed the earth.
I was actually just starting med school. I hate these people that are like, I wasn't even born. No.
Yeah. I was 6. One day, all of you are going to be old, and you'll understand. And you'll use terms like back in my day.
I'm just.
We had to walk uphill both ways in the blinding snow.
Artemis tries to make me older. Yes, there are probably a few gray hairs on Brandon's head. That is probably because of me. Sorry, Brandon. Garrett, I would have been 9.
Oh, you young whippersnappers
Roger,
out there.
I was a couple months old.
I don't like that statement.
I don't either.
I don't like it at all.
I don't either.
I was 32 weeks in my mom's belly. What?
Back on track.
How is that even a...
Our producer's telling us to get back on track.
Oh.
We just don't...
Cracks the whip.
What are your theories, Shades?
Okay. Number 1, Jordan Kendall killed Wes. The obvious go-to that everybody seems to be going for.
No, no, it's not.
Number 2, Deb actually did kill Wes for an undisclosed reason that is actually, what's the word I'm looking for? Viable. There was a viable reason that she killed Wes. So, and we will find that out coming up in the season finale.
By the way,
West.
if you guys are confused, the season finale is the 29th. So,
yes. Option 3, it was all staged by Deb and Wes. So Wes could appear to be dead. Option 4, my personal favorite, Deb did not kill Wes. Wes wasn't even in the Mountaineer. Deb shot Benjamin Cobalt. That's why his name tag was in the Mountaineer. That's what Deb reached over and snatched off of his neck. That's my personal favorite that I've.
Why would she shoot Benjamin Cobalt?
For various reasons. Maybe he was threatening. Like he said, he blamed Wes for what happened to him. Maybe he had threatened Wes in some way, shape, or form. Maybe he had threatened Deb. Maybe, I don't know. There's several reasons that it could happen. Why it happened is still up in the air.
I'm going to throw a spokes into your...
You're going to what?
I'm going to throw a stick in your spokes.
Why would you do such a horrible thing?
Because it's not... I don't think Benjamin Cobalt has anything to do with it. Because he was he was fighting for his life in July of that year. July 10th. According to Wes's notes, he blames me about the accident. July 13, he's aggressive, won't stop screaming. He's a danger to himself. In July 10th, we know that a guy named Scott was working on the final touches of the mask, the temporary mask 2.5. So if it was Benjamin Cobalt, he would have been wearing a mask.
That's true.
Did we see a gun in her hand when she left?
Somebody posted a picture earlier, and it looked like she was holding a gun. Whoever that was, if you could throw that picture back up into the recording chat. There it is. Subject 44L. Right there.
Okay.
It appears to be maybe some kind of gun. Not sure. Can't 100% confirm.
Where's
The
the
TiVo
object that
remote.
Where's the object that she grabbed?
I don't think, because if you remember the Phantom or Benjamin or the Absolute, whatever we're calling him nowadays, said that he had to retrieve the Absolute off of Wes's body. It looks like she didn't take it off of his neck. It looks like she kind of tucked it into his shirt to hide it. I don't know. Why wouldn't you take it? Why wouldn't? See, this is my problem. Every theory I come up with, there's a hole in it. Unless she knew that someone was going to bury him with the thing still around his neck. But how would she know that?
Another thing that bothered me in this episode was...
Garrett, don't be cryptic right now. I can't.
The one thing that bothered me about this episode... Ooh, we have Chanel here. Hi, Chanel. Garrett, don't be mean. They're both being mean down in here. I know Brandon.
Oh, Chanel.
There's the person we were talking about.
Yeah, we're doing another neck theory that Artie loves so much.
We won't go on to that.
But why?
That's what I was thinking, Nature.
Yeah, it doesn't look like she took anything. It looks like she hid something. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay,
But why would she hide something on a dead person? I mean, if the cops find them, they're obviously
you would want to plant
clothes.
something like maybe a suicide note saying that they did it themselves or whatever. I mean, there's many reasons why a murderer will plant something on a body. But so, okay. Since those are dead ends, I want to talk about time.
Timey-wimey stuff.
All right, guys, get your last brain cells going, okay?
Woohoo.
All right.
I love the timey-wimey stuff.
One of the things that bothered me, again, this is going to sound like I've made it clear like this entire season I haven't trusted Deb once. But I do agree with you, Shades, that she is the lesser of two evils. But
exactly.
Yeah. It was the science babes, the living miracle. It was the science babes. One thing that's bothering me is that Matt seemed to go on a tangent about how Deb had manipulated things and had gone into like she manipulated things and sequences and events to lead them to the studio, because he kept saying, I just want to go back to being regular YouTubers, what we were doing, and that she had manipulated this and had manipulated all that. So this is where, okay, Shades, I know you like wrestling, okay?
Okay.
Say one night you have to work late, but you want me to record a wrestling match for you, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I record the wrestling match for you. But I know who wins the wrestling match because I watched it live, correct?
Right.
But you tell me, don't tell me. But somehow you find out who wins the wrestling match. When you're watching the recording, you knowing who's going to win the wrestling match, does that affect you? Like, does that change the events in the recording because you know that fact?
Are you saying, the specific, like, physical events that take place in the recording?
Yes.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. And would you say that at that time, those wrestlers had free will to make their own decisions while I was recording that, correct?
Well, wrestling scripted, dear.
Okay, we'll talk about boxing then, okay? But
first and foremost, you would never watch wrestling.
I will never watch it. Never.
You might record it for me, but you would never watch it.
No.
So this scenario is not
But
working for me in my
fact
head.
of me recording it does not change the fact that the wrestlers had they had choices to make and they made those choices while I was recording, correct?
True.
So, if you are a time traveler you're watching events unfold, are you manipulating situations or are you just taking notes?
Or just sitting back and watching the show.
Exactly. So for Matthias to scream and yell and throw a tantrum that Deb manipulated events, do you know how many paradoxes she would have to overcome to change events like that? Whereas she could have just watched it unfold and knew about it. So she knew when Sam was going to be born because she watched it. Or she knew that Matthias was going to buy the studio because she watched it. It's not manipulating facts. It's that she just knows what's predetermined. Yes, and we do know through science that the future, and science and math, that the future is already there. Yours and my future is already there. We don't know how far it is, but according to math and according to space-time continuum, our future is already there and it's already been written. Deb just figured out the way to see that. Correct?
Future.
But correct?
Yeah, that's right.
So he can't say that she manipulated things.
But she could have, because
you can't, because of the paradoxes. You can't. I'm sorry.
Because if she went back in time, let's just scenario real quick. Timey-wimey scenario time. She went back in time. She sits in the Mountaineer and waits for Wes. She shoots and kills Wes. Why? Because she knows something that happens in the future pertaining to Wes, and she understands that the only way for it not to happen or take place is that Wesley has to die.
Then she would be lying in the Mountaineer tapes when she says, I can save you this time.
Right. Chanel's in pain.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Chanel.
But see, that's not affecting the future, because you can't change future events because they haven't happened, and therefore the paradoxes, and you're messing with too many paradoxes. You can't do that. But she could mess with current events. Yes. So she could have shot Wes because of something that she saw in the future. And she does make references to timelines.
Yes, she does.
And absolute dates. Like she does make references to those. So in all, like, according to science, and I'm going to stand on science because that's all I know. I'm sorry. Science and math. She could very well possibly know the future through the timey-wimey, space-time continuum.
Timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly.
Wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey.
Space-time continuum events.
Yes. And if anyone wants to know the mathematical equations, I can give them to you. But
don't ask her. Don't ask. You don't want to know.
I hate having a co-host. No, I'm just kidding.
You're the one that invited me here.
I know, and I love that you're here. But yeah, so that's just one of the things that bothered me about Matt's little tangent. Like, she manipulated fact. No, she could have just seen it happen. But again, that makes me sound like I'm a Deb fan. I've never been a Deb fan. The only person I have actually been a fan of was John Doe until he said, I'm at the location of the murder. And I went, wait, it's a little fishy that he knew that there was a murder without having a body. He has a missing persons case. That's what he does have. He has a missing persons case.
I've lost no faith in John Doe at all. I know some people have. I have not. But only time will tell with that.
I don't trust.
However, I am holding on to the last thread of hope with Deb. I still put faith in Deb. I've said it, and I'll say it again. I've said it since day one. Deb is the only person that we have had this entire time who we could put our faith in. I don't believe that she would ever do anything malicious, especially to Wesley, unless it absolutely had to happen. If she did, in fact, kill Wes, there was a huge reason why she had to do so. And I cannot wait to hear her explanation behind this. I don't like Chanel being cryptic with the eyes.
Still makes me wonder, though. I posted if anyone wants to read about space-time continuum and the math behind it. That's true.
Or you could just watch Back to the Future, and that explains it pretty well.
No.
First, you have to have a DeLorean.
No.
And then you take a flux capacitor. And then you get plutonium.
Okay, Shades. You're talking about going back in time. We're talking about seeing the future. Two different events.
Back to the Future.
Yes, dear. He's trying to get back to the future where he's from. He wants.
They go to the future.
The more appropriate title for that movie is Back to the Current Time.
See, Garrett understands. He likes Back to the Future.
No, there's
Squatter. One of Squatter's favorite movies is Back to the Future.
There's too many paradoxes in that. Also, by the way, it doesn't have a nice ring. It doesn't. But that's what the movie was about. It was about to get Marty McFly back to his current time. It wasn't. He was back in time, trying to get back to his current time. But at that point in time, it was the future.
The opening song of the movie, which is entitled Back in Time.
Yeah, which it should have been called Back in Time.
No, that would have been a horrible movie.
It would have been the same movie, but different title.
I know, and it wouldn't have done as well.
God.
We're talking about a YouTube series that deals with like thumbnails and analytics. So they post one thumbnail, it doesn't do so well, they change it.
But see, Mysterious Wolf, that doc can say that because he's in his current time. But Marty McFly cannot say he's going back to the future. He says he's going back to his time, like current events. So anyways, I am a Back to the Future fan. I do like Back to the Future, but it's not based on science. Sorry.
Hello, McFly.
Hello, McFly. McFly. Yeah, gigawatts.
1.21 gigawatts.
Gigawatts.
It's gigawatts.
Gigawatts.
He says gigawatts.
Artemis hates movies that aren't based on science. That's not true. One of my favorite
I
movies
feel like
is
that
Endgame.
would be a true statement. I kind of feel like that's something that would be true.
It's not. Well, I mean, Star Wars.
Do you like The Notebook?
I hate The Notebook. Absolutely hate
I
The
do
Notebook.
too.
I hate
This
The
is a
Notebook.
horrible movie. You
Like
know what's a
everyone's
good
all
movie,
like
though?
and crying in it, and I'm all like, there's only been one movie my entire life that I've ever cried in. One. And no,
It
there was no
Marley and
science
Me,
in it.
wasn't it?
No, wasn't Marley and Me either.
It was Old Yeller, wasn't it?
You will never guess it. I've said it on the podcast before. Where's the real fans? There's only been one movie I've ever cried in. No, not Endgame.
Oh, I cried like a baby at Endgame.
Did not cry in Endgame.
You have no soul.
I know. I'm going to post the scene that I cried in.
Like, they couldn't just kill Captain Marvel, could they? They couldn't just kill Captain Marvel.
Okay, here
like,
it is.
No, they had to take freaking Tony Stark.
The only movie that Artemis has ever cried in. When Stitch goes and says he's lost.
Really?
Yeah, I bawled like a baby. I was like, nobody's coming for you.
You could have. I mean, it could have been.
You left
like,
your
not
family.
You didn't cry when Bambi's mom got shot?
No.
Oh my God.
I didn't cry when Mufasa died. I didn't even cry in Passion of the Christ. But yeah, it's
Like,
too.
you didn't cry when Littlefoot's mom died
Nope.
in The Land Before Time? Seriously?
No. Stitch. I'm lost when he says, because he's trying to follow the book. He's trying to follow the book and he's like, I'm lost. Because when the ugly duckling gets lost, his family comes and finds him. So he thinks, if I go get lost, then my family is going to come and find me. And nobody's going to come for him because he has no family. He left his family to find his family. I'm like, yeah. Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. And you know what my deepest, darkest fear is, and you know why. Now you can kind of figure out, like, why I would cry in that scene and nothing else. Because Artemis's deepest, darkest fear is being forgotten. Because I'm a middle child. I've been forgotten so many times. Gas stations, band practice.
The Grand Canyon.
I haven't been forgotten at the Grand Canyon. That would have been that would have sucked. But no, we were on a family trip and I was forgotten at a gas station. And they did not know. No, Home Alone did not make me cry. I wanted to punch what's his face? Kevin so many times, like in the beginning of that movie. He was
Kevin
such a brat.
McAllister.
Yeah, he was such a brat. I just wanted to punch him.
Like, he did everything every normal kid would do when, they got left behind.
Nuh-uh. The normal thing, like, I would have done was call the cops and been like, hey.
No, I would have stolen the family's
Did
credit
National
card
Geographic make you cry?
and
No.
ordered, like, all the food I wanted.
Okay. Well, do we have anyone who has a theory, a observation, or...
We've gotten so
Question.
far off track.
Yeah.
Anyway, raise your hand if you have a question, comment, or theory.
And just to, like, clarify, I do have a soul. I, like, cry at, like real things. Like, Shades has heard me cry.
Yes.
Yes, he's heard me cry. Yeah. Like, I do have a soul, but in movies, I don't cry. Like, but unless you're
How
a
could you?
stupid little
Tony
cartoon
Stark
character.
Died. Tony Stark laid there
I
and
knew it was
died,
going to
and
happen. The dude was old, and he was my favorite Avenger, but yeah.
they couldn't just kill Captain Marvel, could they?
Brandon has heard me cry. Brandon has heard me bawl like a baby, like ugly cry.
Ew.
Brandon has heard me ugly cry.
Okay, let's bring someone up on stage here before we ugly
That
cry.
is all up to you, dear.
All right. Let's go over here and see the requests. If you have a question, a comment, or a theory, just raise your hand. We'll bring you up on the stage. Random selection. Black Cadillac. I'm sending you an invitation to speak. Come on up.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey,
It is going.
It's going and going and going. How are you?
I am fine. My first time on the podcast, and I'm happy and nervous at the same time.
Oh, don't be nervous. We're normal people. Well, I am anyway, so I can't speak for all of you.
Diggy, you're sleeping on the couch tonight.
No. Sleep in the big bed.
Oh, what did you have for us, Cadillac?
I have a theory that I just thought of. It was Deborah that upped the doses on Benjamin's test, and which is the reason why she killed Wesley, because Wesley made a device to save Benjamin. That's my theory.
That would like if she knew future events, she would know that her team would be competing against the Phantom.
Which is why she upped the doses, but then Wesley made a device to save Benjamin, which is a reason why Deborah would kill Wesley. That's my theory.
Interesting.
That is very interesting.
I like that theory, actually. It's
a
very good
fits.
theory.
It would fit.
It does. It fits very well.
It gives a perfect motive.
It does. Well,
Ink Knight, yes, you can hop on and add something if you wish.
Okay, so you said that, and okay, everyone here probably knows the Life is Strange theory, which we basically say that Deb is trying to fix a time loop.
Mm-hmm.
But if she didn't, but this actually brings something up. If she didn't tell Wes exactly what he needed to do to help her prevent the time loop, or if he did something against her word because he believed it was what was best, then she might have felt this loop or something like that. Like Wes might have gone against her wishes to save him. To like her attempts to save him were futile because he immediately butchered it.
Interesting.
Also, for the people that saw my poll on the chat, just quickly going over the results. The majority, like out of 19 people voting, there's 28% on Jordan. 2020, where 40% believes that Deb was shot, but 20% believe that it was just fatal, and 20% believe that it wasn't fatal. That she didn't shoot him fatally, and then she ran away for some reason. Then we have that it was someone else that we don't know. And then 12% that Deb only witnessed the murder and she ran away. And then there's 1%, one vote, one single poor vote saying that they believed it was still Benjamin.
They said that they heard music. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know. I didn't hear any music though. Although
I think
same.
I was listening on the big screen, so
Well, my
Oh.
AirPods.
We had earbuds on, but we didn't hear anything either.
Yeah.
you know what you know what it is. I think it's a side effect of the serum. Matt was the only person that heard music, or was he? Or did they
No,
verify that they heard it too?
Nug said that there is music.
Oh,
No,
it's
just-
just
You sure
Oh,
you're
just
not on serum too?
See, I have tinnitus, so it's hard for me to hear like really quiet music.
Garrett also said, yeah, a bunch of people are saying that. Yeah, that Kennex hop on. He wants to talk. Nugs wants to talk. What a miracle.
No, he can hop on as
Yeah,
long as
come
it
on up,
pertains
Nugs.
to what Cadillac was saying.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna talk about the music. So,
Oh,
is
okay,
that
what's up?
what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, I can wait. No, I can wait. It's all right.
Well, what was the?
All right.
Did you hear the music?
I watched back both tapes, and there is music indeed in the background. It sounds like a choir singing. There's no tangible words, but it's sort of like a choir singing, like, "Ooh,"
Maybe
you know,
the radio?
change.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah.
I mean, they probably woke up, so maybe the radio playing.
I don't know. It is very quiet, and it seems like it's off in the distance, not coming from right next to the camera or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there definitely is music, and I did find that odd when I was watching us, because you can't really hear it. Excuse me, in the video, but because they have background music and whatnot going. But when you watch that tape back, for those of you who have premium, who have access to the evidence list, you can watch that video back, and there is indeed some kind of opera sounding music in the back, or choir sounding music in the back.
So Roxa says that he has isolated that specific sound, and it seems that it is an artifact of white noise.
Interesting. Okay.
Hmm.
Huh. Okay, maybe.
As I said, I have tinnitus. It's hard for me to hear really low, like soft sounds.
Gotcha.
So for those of you who don't know what tinnitus is, I have a constant ringing in my ears. You get used to it after a while, but it's from
All right.
working
Musician,
with
I can-
machinery all my life.
Yeah.
All right,
as a
thanks for having me
musician,
up here. I'm
sort
gonna
of
head back
lies,
off.
Like not permanently.
Thank you, Nugs.
But as
Yep, thank you.
as a second violin that was constantly on the back, right next to the medals. You know,
Yeah.
concerts were not nice. The only reason why we wore earplugs.
Yeah. Wear hearing protection, kids. It will pay off when you're older.
I'm still stuck on Cadillac's theory. I'm really stuck on it because it's like that would make a lot of sense to.
It does make a lot of sense. Like
It's a
he's
motive.
trying.
We don't have.
He's trying to
lot.
save the one thing that Deb knows they have to stop, but she can't tell Wesley about it. So, what's our only other option?
Kill him.
Wesley. You kill Wesley.
But it was just too late because he already made the mask.
Right. He already saved him.
Well, Scott did.
Yeah, Scott Cleric is the one who was working on the mask.
And they did say, let me jump back to my notes on that episode. This is in the episode. This unassuming desk has a mysterious hidden secret. It does say that in some of Wes's notes inside the desk, or was it Wes's notes?
I mean, we know that the file was Benjamin's notes. Then there was Jordan's writing. on that small paper, but there was an unidentified handwriting on all of those notes.
In experiment 2.5 Pegasus, they talk about that the project was taken over by Wesley, who it was a very abnormal thing for him to do. And in the notes it says he blames me about the accident. He won't stop screaming. I hope Cyphus is proud. He's a danger to himself and others. The serum is leaking from his throat, eyes, and mouth.
This is the piece of paper that I'm referring to that has apparently no owner.
$710.03.
Yeah,
That's the one.
710 and 03 and 71303 were written by the same person.
But we don't know who that
71003 was Scott is working on the final touches and he blames me for the accident. And then it continues and 71303 that Benjamin Cobalt's now aggressive, won't stop screaming. He's a danger to himself and others, and I hope Cyphus is proud. And then we have another file, experiment 2.5 Pegasus, about Benjamin Cobalt. Wesley's taken over, and it's abnormal. It's an abnormal thing for him to do that. And then also in the desk, we have the chat logs of Wes and Ben, where B27 says that he trusts his work, but Nelson is pushing for time. Don't pretend to care. I meant concerning Deb. And then in the secret compartment under the table, we get Jordan's handwriting, the post-it note, sorry for tricking you. And the secret compartment behind the shelf, we've got the radiation test on rats, Project Pegasus. It's a 2-part serum to stabilize a huge amount of radiation. No complications. And then we've got schematics for the serum bomb. 100 miles away after 6 hours of no complications after 6 hours. And then we got the Phantoms testing the bomb in human trials. And then they're pushing for human trials after that. So that's all the stuff that we found in the desk, and we don't know what's inside of the...
They still haven't
File
looked inside
cabinet.
the filing cabinet, have they?
No.
Man,
Oh my
I forgot
God.
about the filing cabinet again.
Oh my God, don't tell me that we're missing things.
We're missing things.
Oh no.
They still haven't gone through the filing cabinet. I forgot all about that.
I haven't.
I mean,
Of course you
Artemis.
haven't, because
No,
you're
it
the
bothers me.
most
You're doing-
observant out of all of us.
you're doing things with the science babes while we're all here in the podcast chat waiting for you.
It's just, the Science Babes.
Okay.
Yes, if you haven't, I was featured in the Science Babes episode where we go all, and it was like perfectly timed because it is about John Doe. If you would like to see that, that is on their YouTube channel. Airport has already posted that in the comments. Head over there if you want to hear them. You guys, you guys get a kick out of... Well, I mean, if you want to hear someone breaking my brain for a moment, head over there. I think they chopped it up into 4 parts. Each is 20 minutes, so each is like a bite size. And that's where I stumbled onto the theory of that B27 could have a daughter. We also stumbled upon a theory of who is actually behind all of this. And hint, none of us believe it's Cyphus. And if you would like to find out more about it, go ahead and head over to their YouTube channel on who we think is actually behind all of this. So that...
I mean, as far as we know, Nelson Cyphus is a little old man who's retired, living in his beach house, living his best life, and knows nothing about any of this.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Cadillac.
Yep. Goodbye.
Have a good one. Do we have anyone else who has their hand raised?
Oh, yeah, we got plenty of people. Let's see here. Random. Let's bring up DT. DT said they had a theory. So I'm going to send you an invite to speak.
Hi, DT. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Brains hurt.
Yeah.
So
Fine,
what
that's
is
the
your
time
what is your theory?
My theory is we could be dealing with Wes as a paralyzed veteran. And the reason I say this is because if you look at the 16th letter of the alphabet being P, the 22nd being V, and the first one being A, that is the PVA, which is the Paralyzed Veterans of America. So what if Wes or Benjamin are old retired veterans who worked for the military, so they know a good amount of stuff about like chemicals and weapons?
I would think they wouldn't be old enough, but I don't
It's
know.
just something that I found that
come from the veterans.
I don't know. It's just something that I found that I thought could be something, maybe not.
Interesting.
I mean,
Don't know where the recruits for the experiments came from.
true.
And like, what's the difference between telling a family that their beloved died to a war or died in a training session in the camp with an accident or something, than telling them that they perished because they were being experimented on? What's the difference?
Ooh, that's dark to think that
Yeah,
the patients that they were testing on were actually veterans.
Oh, they were ghosted. Like, oh. And for those of you who don't know, ghosted in the military has a completely different meaning than what we apply on the internet. Ghosted basically means that you go super, super undercover and they tell your family that you are dead, even though you're not. You're just like undercover. So basically they were ghosted.
You think that all of them were ghosted? Oh god.
Yeah.
That's dark. And you guys think I was dark? Man. That's an interesting theory, DT. Thank you.
Ooh.
Gonna have to ponder on that one.
Yeah, that's wow.
Okay, I think we have time for one more.
Oh yeah, let's see. One more. All right, let's bring up HRRJ. Let's bring them up. I'm sending you an invite. All I gotta do is hit accept.
Hey, how are you?
I think Brendan is telling us something time.
I have a theory.
What's your
It's
theory?
mostly a simulacrum theory. It depends how you want to take it. What if Deb was controlling the whole entire simulation and she was making like little by little changing stuff so that time loop in that timeline would change. For example, maybe the woman that shot Wes was supposed to be Deb, but she changed it, and now the woman that's running out it's Jordan. Or Benjamin Cobalt's daughter could be Kendall's daughter.
The
Okay.
simulacrum stuff.
So
That's
if
an
you,
interesting one.
simulacrum means an image or representation of someone or something, an unsatisfactory limitation or substitute. It's also a horror game that you can play that a computer virus is affecting and killing people.
It's the
Hmm?
game is good. Go
Yeah.
play it.
And it does use like 3D sounds. So be sure if you do play it and you do want to get terrified, make sure your room is dark and make sure you're wearing really good headphones.
Yeah.
And it's called Simulacra. And it's based off of that.
There's
We
a
all
second game
haven't.
now too.
Yeah, there is. There's Simulacra too. It's not as good as the first one.
Mhm.
Simulacra is the concept of simulacrum, which is a image or representation of someone or something. Basically, that every time that we go online, we have a simulacrum, a Sims character, because it is how we portray ourselves online, our image and representation. So, tying that into Deb, are you saying that D3B
Mm-hmm.
is the simulacrum for Deb and that it is manipulating events?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know why, but all of a sudden I just get this like Skynet type of feeling that D3B is like
Yeah.
Skynet.
Exactly.
Like it became self-aware on its own
Yeah.
and just started making decisions based on future events that we can't see.
Chanel.
Exactly.
Chanel with the
Chanel, I don't
did
think
not know
you're
that,
I
Chanel.
don't think you're allowed to say that. I mean,
I mean,
That's a bomb
like super,
dropper.
I know that's like super secret information.
oh,
That just blew my mind, Chanel.
for
I
that
actually
Chanel,
thought-
you get a Artemis.
I actually thought of this in another way. Like, sure, it can be D3B, it can be Deb, but someone is altering the story as we go
Mhm.
because we're part of the simulated experience. Even if outside of this reality, we're still part of the simulated experience. And they could be like trying to sneakily change details, hoping we don't notice. But we do because we have Artemis and we have the science babes.
Mhm.
And we have in the entire subject 4 who's not blind to these kind of things.
Yeah, the only people that I trust in this whole entire scenario is subject 4.
Because we're
But
the,
not
we're the
but
incognita.
not but not Emiko.
Yeah, Emika. You don't trust
Because-
Matt.
No. I don't trust Matt.
Why?
Don't trust because he works with Chanel.
That's a good point.
I love you, Chanel.
The only person I trust in all of this is Bailey. I feel like we can all put our trust in Bailey.
No. No, I think
What do you
she's
mean, no?
I think she's Deb.
Don't you dare ever question Bailey. Bailey
What?
is
I work for Matt. He hired you, therefore I don't trust him. Just kidding, Chanel.
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean,
so rocks.
yeah, the only person I trust is subject 4, but there are a couple of people in subject 4 I don't trust. Because we don't.
Nugs?
Because no, I trust Nugs. I mean, I wouldn't make him my Discord manager if I didn't. I don't trust all of subject 4 because again, we do know that B27 is a fan. He quoted Matthias from a merch ad.
The merch video, man,
Yeah.
that was crazy. That blew my mind.
Who knows if he's bought that merch?
Simp Nation, dude.
I do out of
comes
every
Chad.
out of everyone, though, I do think like if I had to choose somebody to trust out of everyone in this story, not including subjects 1, 2, 3, and 4, not including them and us, if I had to trust somebody, it would probably be B27.
Really?
Yeah.
The dude who's gonna set
Yeah.
off a bomb?
Yeah, because it kind of seems like they're holding his daughter hostage and he has no other choice.
I don't know if that's who I would put my faith in.
I didn't say I put my faith in him, but out of everyone, he's the one I'm going to trust. Like, like if he says I'm being forced into this, I trust that.
Yeah.
And he basically did say that he
Oh, yeah,
said that
I
he
mean,
had
I
no
don't-
other option.
He had no
I
other
don't
option.
doubt that for a second. I don't
He's being
doubt that for a second.
threatened.
But when
I mean, it's in his character trait that he might break boundaries and might break the rules.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like I said at the beginning of the podcast. Everybody's a little bit evil. You just have to
Yeah,
determine how
But
evil
from the
they
moment
are.
that he starts writing off the margin of the page, the guy just plainly starts likes breaking rules. Like there's a slight enjoyment to breaking the rules.
Admit nothing, deny everything, blame someone else. Or
Basically.
Agent 47, or you can admit to some things so you can throw other people's off and make them think that you're trustworthy. And that's exactly what Deb has done. She has fed them things.
False lies are always more
False
powerful than
lies.
false truths are always more powerful than full lies.
It is getting really philosophical.
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 I love how you
that's
wrote
what
it.
Garrett wrote.
No! Change it back. I
No.
love the typo.
No, I like the other one.
Philosophical. What if Deb is being framed? Flying Lemons, that's old news.
Yay, changed it back.
Yay. Flying Lemons, that's old news. She said that she was being framed in the chat logs where she was talking about
Yeah.
what is it called? Euthanasia drugs. But the
Yeah.
problem with that was her like all life is sacred was a bunch of BS, because then when Matt wanted to go save his team, it's like, no, but I can't, but you're too important. But if all life is sacred, Deb, then you should be wanting to fight for Woods, and you should be wanting to fight for Samantha.
But that's Deb yet again knowing things that we
No,
don't know,
Deb is
and knowing that Matt plays a much bigger part in all of this than Sam or Woods do.
Okay,
Matt's the one that prompts Subject 4 to take action. If you notice, it's always or almost always Matt looking at Subject 4 or looking at the camera and going like, what did we miss?
well,
What
it's
can we do
because
here?"
when you're living in the moment and you're looking at yourself, when you're like, think about it like relationships, okay? You go to your friend for a relationship advice, and they're like, oh, I went through that, and this is what I did. But you're like, oh, but our love is different, and you can't judge our love or whatever. And they're clearly trying to tell you that this person's bad for you, and you're like, no, you don't know. But like hindsight is 20/20. So I think with Matt reaching out to us is because he's too close to it. Like you can't see where you're going at in the maze unless somebody is doing an overhead view of you in the maze. And we're kind of on the outside looking in, so therefore he's going to ask us. So
Janelle, don't start with me.
No.
What if Wes never existed in the first place? Don't do this.
What?
God.
Well, another thing that I was going to say was, what if Jean Doe did find the body buried, but he didn't tell Matt? until he got the Mountaineer.
That's the one part that bothers me. Like like I can speculate on everything else, but the one part that really bothers me: who found Wes's body? Who buried Wes's body?
What
Or
if
is Wes even dead? Did he drive himself away in the Mountaineer and just plant a fake tombstone in the middle of a field somewhere?
what if Jordan is really John Doe? I hate you, Chanel.
I was going to say, what if Jordan buried the body afterwards?
I'm going to ask one of Sorox's favorite questions, but why? Why? I mean, I know that Deb
Maybe
and Jordan
she
were working
wanted
together. But
exactly.
why?
Maybe
Why?
maybe Jordan wanted to cover up what Deb did, so no one knew. So they couldn't go to jail and start making half truth in order to get Matt Salmon Woods in on what the serums are doing right now.
Sorry. Dusty girl. What if Wes buried
himself? Oh no!
Would that made him a dusty guy? Dusty girl? Would that have made him a dusty girl?
What if B27 is really the owner of Spellbound?
Oh, we're falling apart.
Oh, look, it's Sorox.
That's another one. What if B27 was the one that buried Wes?
It very
And
well
paid
could
his
be.
respect, because in that episode when he was at the tombstone, he looked like he was paying respect for his friend.
Well, he was there to retrieve something as well, and he said that that Matt Salmon Woods led him right to where poor Wesley was buried. And now he has the absolate, which we still don't know what the absolate is, but I'm willing to bet that it's something really, really,
Maybe
really
absolute is
important.
the super serum part, the one that makes you really strong.
Yeah. Could be.
Maybe they just wanted to make a real Captain America.
Yeah, super soldier.
Super soldier.
All right,
I'm
guys.
still more into the mind control theory, to be honest. It's more
Mind control.
probable.
There's two theories that are stuck in my head with the B27. It's either the symbiote route or the mind control route.
I'll go with the symbiote one because it's more like controlling him type of way.
Because that would
Making
that would
him do things that he doesn't want to do.
because when they said you hit Woods over the head and he said no, and he stopped. So we clearly has no somebody can be controlling him like an RC car. So
And that's terrifying.
what if the owner of Syntech is actually Deb's friend's reporter's kid's name, Artemis?
What?
What if the owner of Syntech is actually Deb's friend's reporter's kid named Artemis?
I don't smell toast, but
Can we go back to the theory where everyone thought Artemis was Deb? That kind of went down the drain when I started hating Deb.
Which, if everyone thought about it, it could have been on purpose.
What
to
if
deviate from the path?
What if I'm actually older than I say I am, and I'm actually Tanner's mom?
You look younger than you
wait
say.
a minute.
So
Wait a minute.
Wait a second. I suddenly don't trust you as much anymore.
Oh no, is a little Mew Mew? Where's Emiko?
Yeah.
Meow
Em-
meow,
meow.
Emiko. Meow meow.
Meowco. Emiko, me love you long time. Meow meow.
What if so am Artemis? That note, I think we need to wrap up the podcast. If you're
Yeah,
listening to us on YouTube, we will be streaming on Twitch. We do have an after show where I am joined, me and Shades are joined with moderators, or even if Chanel, if you want to hop up on stage, or Garrett, if you guys want to hop on the stage, we do understand, and everyone else understands here, that we cannot dig into your like asking you for theories, but it's just a good time where you guys can hear us hanging out. Or I know that me and Shades were on We Are Subject 4. We were on their Twitch stream, and we kind of did like a advice column type of thing. You remember that, Shades?
Like a Dear Abby type of thing. It was
Yeah, and so
really fun.
it was really fun. So if in the after show, if you guys have any questions, if you guys have questions about us, about the podcast, about you have questions on life, need advice or anything, it's just going to be us hanging out with the moderators. And I'm supposed to message over to the Science Babes and see if they want to look over that. Shades does not like that meme.
I hate that meme
He
so
hates
much
that
because it's
meme.
not true. It needs to be in the opposite order.
Yeah.
Like Artie's picture needs to be on the girl in red, and the foam needs to be on the girl in blue.
Yeah, because you're forgetting that picture's the picture where he like fell in love with me.
That's what started it all. That picture
Yes.
right there.
So yeah, so if you guys want to hang out with the after show, we're going to be on Twitch. If also we are going to be hanging out here still in the Discord stage. But once again, to develop theories and to make subject for the best subject, the conversation does not end here. We do have a theories category here on our Discord that you can post your theories and be heard and start conversations. There are other platforms, like we have the Science Babes here on YouTube. We also have We Are Subject 4 over on Twitch. They usually stream right after us, so you can go and hang out with them. They're Jordan and Angel. They're amazing people, and I think
awesome
you guys
people, really cool.
You guys will have a blast with them if you have not looked
You'd
them up.
love them. If you like us, you're gonna love Jordan and Angel.
Yeah. So you also have the conversations over on the Reddit. You have plus.spellbound.com. Post your theories there. Tag me in Shades, or even the Science Babes. That rhymes. Me and Shades and the Science Babes. You can tag us and your theories, and we'll be, if we like your theories, because me and Shades are hosts over there, we can actually recommend your theories to others who are following us. So it jumps up on their pages, and that we can get a better conversation going for you guys. But I love you guys. Thank you guys so much, and I appreciate you all. And I hope to see you guys after this for the after show. Bye.
Bye, guys.